what is it that makes a story complete? I mean, is there a process to it? Is there a sequence to it? Is there a formula to it? Anamika, all yours.
Okay, thank you, Nidhi. So when we look at stories, whatever be their size, length, and whatever be their genre, there is something very unique about every story, and that is we can divide it into a clear beginning, a clear end, and there's a middle which links the beginning and the end. So when we want to write the story also, we have to bear that in mind. There has to be a clear beginning, a clear ending, and a middle which will link the different attributes. So I'll just try and share this with you.
Okay.
I have would like to share this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is wonderful. Well put. And everybody who's watching, you know, there is, when we say something and reinforce it visually, it settles down into our very being. And I'm sure you'll always know this sequence of story writing, a beginning, the middle, and the end. But of course, it's not going to be left loose-ended like that. We are going to go ahead with this, and we are going to ask Anamika to unravel each portion of it and tell us what is a beginning.
Right.
And then we go on.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. When we, like all good things, we have to have a plan in place. And so before we start writing, we have to make a plan. And how do we plan for a story is we start with the plot. So you ask me, what's the plot? So the plot is basically the unfolding of the events in the story.
Okay.
Before we start writing, if we can sum it up in a nutshell, that this is the story I'm going to talk about or write, you know, and if I can write it in a nutshell in one sentence, then I can frame my plot accordingly. So we have to be, then it gives me an idea of where I'm headed, say for the setting.
So, you know, our audience is going to be asking themselves whether they have the ability to put it into one sentence. You think the first trial will help them do that? Or can they begin with, let's say, 3 sentences or 4, and then as they mull upon their own plot, keep concising it, tightening it to make it, you know, a one feature, one sentence, because it's important that they do that, because the core of their story is going to be that sentence. Otherwise, yes, it will be all over the place. So they have to hold on to the thread of that plot and then make sure they get it across.
Absolutely right. And you put it so well, Nidhi, that basically it doesn't matter whether it's a one sentence or a couple of sentences, but the idea, what you want to communicate with your readers or to your listeners as you're narrating the story, if it can be brief, then you can elaborate it as much as you want. And then you basically are working on the premise that the beginning and the end has to be linked. So you can't be thinking of an ending which is difficult to connect with the beginning, or a beginning which is going, you know, which is starting somewhere and you don't know how to end it.